Hello, this is Liz Taylor. I am doing my conception on Gagne, from Gifts to Talents, the DMGT as a developmental model. I'm recording it this way because I'm an exceptionally gifted visual teacher and not a very good teacher of lecture. So hopefully this will help both me give you the information and you to receive it. The things that we must know about Gagne, the different keywords you need to have, his DMGT, aptitude versus achievement, gifted or talented, catalysts, metric-based system, C-GYPE, and the power of OR. And I will go over every single one of these. DMGT is basically differentiation of gifted and talented. Gagne takes a different aspect and position on gifts and talents. He says that gifts are things that are natural, they're more inherent abilities, and talent is the idea that you can actually develop an ability. So it's something that you can actually improve upon. Within this, he sees that they have catalysts that help with the development of both of these, but particularly in talent development. This is a great picture of the DMGT model. And I wanted to make sure that you had a copy of it so you had the ability to see all the different aspects and how they interact. Unlike Renzulli's three rings, this model, while it has three components, they tend to interact in a little bit different way. They do not overlap like a Venn diagram. Okay, natural abilities is what he refers to as giftedness. I think it's really important to know that while Gagne has 4 aptitude domains, he really does say that the giftedness is not limited to just those 4. He said somebody's not gifted unless they are showing absolute outstanding ability. Developing your skills means talent. He still thinks, like with giftedness, that talent is reserved for the top 10%. He said that pages 102 and 103, he goes into detail about talent being a developmental construct and the importance of how much it's developed and not just something that is given to somebody. The 4 components in the DMGT are that part that we're in the middle of the model, and we'll take a closer look at that. The 4 different parts are interpersonal, environmental, learning and practicing, and chance. And I think it's fascinating that he picks these because they're different than anybody else's models that we've seen so far. If you take a closer look at the DMGT model, the way that he lines everything up in this model is not necessarily how he feels the impact of the middle section there with the catalysts actually impact talent and giftedness, which I thought was fascinating. So while his model makes it look like chance, it might not be most important. In C-GYPE, which we'll look at later, he actually shows chance as being one of the highest parts. Gagne was also one of the first ones to talk about prevalence of giftedness and the need for talking about how many kids are gifted. He does a fascinating job of explaining his own system for quantification of the number of children who are gifted. I thought that was really interesting. He does everything from mildly gifted to extremely gifted. He said that chance manifests itself in one other major event, namely the transmission of hereditary characteristics, and he uses that chance part as an important catalyst, and that it's important to argue that complete definition of a normative concept requires quantitative operation. That's on page 108. Something he went out of his way to remind educators is about the fact that a majority of gifted or talented individuals are going to be in the mild category, and that the majority of people who end up in the extremely gifted are very rare and such a very small percentage. He cautions teachers and parents to be careful that they don't look at extreme examples of behavior because that can sway us to thinking that gifts or talents are something that they're not and that they are more prevalent than actuality. C. Gype, order of causes. He does a very good job of explaining that middle section in his model and saying that chance, he has the order, the C. Gype is the order of causes in their impact. He feels that chance has the greatest impact and our environment has the least amount of impact because he feels like people are able to overcome obstacles in the environment a lot easier than they are chance, like genes and parents. If nothing else, remember Gagne is or. He separates gifts and talents. He uses or every time he refers to it. He doesn't say gifted and talented. He says gifted or talented. And he really feels that development construct of talents is really important. Again, just a real quick overview. DMGT, developmental model of gifted or talented. Aptitude versus achievement, the idea that gifts are something given and talent is developed. The importance of catalysts, the metric-based system for knowing how many students are actually gifted or talented. CGYPE is his acronym for the different things that affect giftedness and talentedness, and the power of or being very different from everybody else's model. Okay, questions for discussion. Given the similarities of Renzulli's Operation Houndstooth and Gagne's CGYPE, do you feel that the element of environment plays more of a factor than Gagne believes? Why or why not? He did not put an emphasis on it. He felt like it was the least effective. Also, do you think that there is an or between gifts and talents, or are they one and the same? And lastly, in what ways would a school district benefit from the distinction of gifts being different from talents? Thank you and have a great day.